Sir, I want to apologize. I just put up a different video up there, but the person that was up there in that video is not Grandmaster Arthur. So I'm gonna have to go back in there and edit that, sir.
Okay.
You know, I love technology as long as it works. How are you doing today?
I'm fantastic. I'm enjoying the beautiful day. Winter is over, spring is here, and everybody seems to be growing and happy.
Well, then that's right. There's so much to be happy for. Everyone, my name is Grandmaster Jessie Bowen. I am the host of the Becoming Author podcast. Everyone has a story. You just have to get it out. And today, if you don't know him, you should get to know him. We have Grandmaster Lawrence Arthur, and again, he's one of those trailblazers that's been out there for a long time. We're both I'm out of North Carolina. He's out of Virginia. So we've been knowing each other since we were brown belts in the martial arts. Now we're going to use that 5-0 term, that 50 years in the martial arts. So we go all the way back there. He's a man with a great deal, of knowledge. I must say, I consider myself as one of the smart guys, but he's up there. I know when I a lot of times when we think about what we do in the martial arts and the things that we're known for, it takes people in the background to help you to be able to get there. And one of the things that he helped me to do, now today we're talking about his event that's coming up, but there's a lot of things we want to integrate, because to be a GOAT, one of the greatest, then there's a lot of things that goes into greatness. And I know I had managers running my school. I was at Duke University, off doing traveling seminars, Nike, and all these other places, but not really paying enough attention to my business. Then I had to walk in one day and fire everybody. That's a little bit of a problem. If I had thought about that, I would have had a little more strategy about it, but I didn't. That's me. It's all or none. And I found myself not knowing what to do. I was, ran 3 schools, been around for 30 some years, but I was just out of whack. And I hired him as my consultant to help me to get my school back in order. Within 3 months, my school was back in order. I was paying him a lot of money to help me, but guess what? I earned back over 10 times the amount that I was paying him for helping me get my school back together. So if you're looking for a manager, he is one of the great ones, for being able to do that. So, sir, I'll let you introduce yourself a little bit. So, we want to talk about your event, but we want to talk about, the great martial artist, what makes you a GOAT. And if you say, well, I'm not really a GOAT, then how do I get there? Because we know it starts in the classroom.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for the great introduction. By the way, I've known you since you were a green belt. And I feel like we came up from different. We were brothers of a different mother, if you will. Because if we didn't see you, I didn't see you every week, but I saw you every weekend at a tournament somewhere. It seems like, anyway. Thank you for having me on today. I appreciate it very much. I do try to help as many schools as I can if they're having problems. Most people are successful or not successful in spite of what they do, not because of what they do. They just don't know the right tools to use to make things work. And there's so much of it out there now that you got to wonder what's right, what's doesn't right. Everybody's promising you 30 or 40 students a month. Good luck with that. That's all I can tell you. I help run about a dozen schools right now, and I just know what the realities are. That's all. But, with the GOAT Awards, how do you get to become a greatest of all time? Is there just one? Well, no, there aren't. There are many people that are, I call them the dying generation. When I was researching this group of people to nominate for the GOAT Awards, out of about 7,000 people that I reached out to who were all at least 5th degree black belt, at least 25 years into martial arts, at least 40 years old, that was our criteria for it. 20% of them have already passed. This generation, our generation, has done more for the martial arts in general from any previous generation ever. You know, people talk about, well, there's too many 10th degree black belts. Well, we started a lot of kids at 4 years old. We've had kids come up in 25 years and 35 years of training, which just wasn't so before. So for people to be higher ranked now, of course they are. We have generated so many new karateka or martial artists that it's going to, you don't need any generals if you don't have any soldiers. And we've created an awful lot of generals because we have so many people in their downline, which is what it's all about. You know, to become a GOAT, though, we like to adopt the philosophy of Kaizen. Kaizen may be a Japanese term, but it's an American philosophy of continuous improvement. And my question always is, who teaches the teacher? If the teacher is not interested or intimidated, or whatever word you may want to use, of getting more training after they've completed their mastership or whatever level they are, well, they've already quit learning. There's no quit in me. I'm upset that I can't be with my mentor, Grandmaster Bill Clark, and his event this weekend in Jacksonville. I've only missed 2 in the last 12 years, and I'm missing this one because I've got a black belt test I got to be in. But the point is, you should be, and your students should be, encouraged to participate in outside events. Now, you may not want to go to tournaments. I still do. They're my buddies. I like those guys. I'll go and I'll help all day long because I like it. But when it comes to a seminar, I'm in a wheelchair. I'll go to every knife seminar I can go to, every colleague seminar I can go to, every joke, anything I can use when sitting down, I'm all about it. I'm still a student. You know, I've been, like you said, over 50 years, 71 years old. I like to say I'm 71 and a half. I'm still a martial artist, and I think everybody needs to do that. So at the GOAT Awards in general, we're going to have 2 days of super grandmasters coming in from literally all over the world. We've got people coming from Australia, Ireland, England, Hungary, Turkey, plus all over the United States, already registered. So you're going to have exposure to people. And I believe proximity has power. You get around people that are successful, you get around the GOATs, you're going to leave there with some of that. Some of that osmosis is going to rub off on you, and you're going to come back a different person. You're going to come back ready to learn and ready to recognize. You to expand your own knowledge base. And your students the same way. When they go, they come back with confidence. I'm a big advocate of going together as a team, because you take a team to whatever event, you got the team, the team energy on the way down, and on the way back, everybody's talking about what they learned and what they did. That people say, well, gee, maybe they'll like somebody else and they'll leave me. No. Other way around. Exact opposite happens. They become more loyal because you're the one that's leading them. You're the one sending them. You're the one encouraging them. Now, if you send them off to learn something, you say, I don't do that in my school. Well, I always tell everybody, learn all you can, disregard what you can't use, develop your way. I think Bruce Lee said that. But it's American. That's what it is. We learn, we grow. We're not tied down to that's the way we do it, and that's the only way it can be done.
Well, I like, that's really interesting, because when we go back to when we came up, there was a different time, technology. We came up in a great time that we were introduced to great people who were just learning the martial arts themselves. And because we have to realize martial arts hasn't been in the country, in the U.S. that long. But the thing that our takeaway, and we're here today because of that experience. Because when we went to an event, there was a reason why. And we learned who was great. And that's how we became competitors, because we found better people. Now, if your people don't have that opportunity to see better, then they don't know better. A Volkswagen is the fastest car in the world unless you've seen a Ferrari. So that is about And I agree, because now if we know those people that have been great, we can mimic them. And that's the reason why, in the publishing business and in the magazine business, those are the things that inspire us, because it's another way for us to get a chance to know those people who are great. And, that's key.
You also came up under a great innovator, Jan Wellendorf, with the door-to-door sales and the multiple locations. And, he was the first guy that I knew of doing that, even doing the multiple locations. And I was lucky to live close enough to be able to visit with him and learn. So that's why I say you and I are brothers of another mother. But really, we were lucky to have people like Jan Wellendorf coming up in front of us. And so the point is, we're not afraid to learn, not afraid to grow. So really, your takeaway from all of this being said is you should seek growth opportunities outside of your walls of your own dojo. What does it cost you to go to a seminar? Most of them are a couple of hundred, maybe as much as 500. I pay 500 when I go to see Grandmaster Clark. If you're not paying your mentor, he ain't mentoring you. People will. You don't expect to be paid. You don't expect to get it for nothing. You want to. One of my mentors is under Tony Robbins. He pays him $50,000 a hit, and I think it's about 10 times a year he pays him that. The guy runs 60 locations. They do over $2 million a month. He's getting his money's worth. So you mentioned 10 times the fee. Yeah, that's minimum. That's really, you say you paid me a lot. No, you didn't. Yeah.
For that period of time.
I'm cheap. That's what it is. But the point is, be involved in whatever it is coming around the pike, and want to step up into it and be part of it. As far as the G.O.A.T awards, I don't know where to start there. There's so much to talk about. We have sent out invitations to about 1,200 people that have qualified to be part of this ceremony. As I mentioned earlier, 5th degree minimum. Most of these guys are 8th, 9th, 10th degree black belts that we sent out to. It starts with a Thursday night testing. We're allowing any and everybody to test for 5th degree or higher in front of our Grandmasters Council. This series, they got to basically do fighting form. I'm sorry, they got to do form, a weapon if they have it. If they have optional, but self-defense, they have optional breaking and sparring. Some of these guys are gung-ho, want to kill everybody. Some people say, look, I got 2 bad knees and a bad back. What have I got to do? They're 8th degree black belts. If you show up as that level and that type of injury, and we can do an interview with you, anything over 5th degree, it's really honorary. Not about, you're not going to be better than you were at about a 3rd degree, maybe 4th degree. That's about as good as you're going to get physically. And as you grow out of that, and I say grow out of that, as your knees start to give out, your back starts to give out, you get older, you don't jump as higher, you don't throw those kicks quite as, unless you're Jeff Doss. That's those guys. They're an anomaly. They're not the normal people. But anyway, we're there to honor people, recognize them for what they have done and what they're going to do in the martial arts. We believe that mastership isn't about what you have accomplished; it has something to do with it. But it's what are you going to do now? What are you going to do? How are you going to perfect your own self? Most people think that practicing a few katas or whatever is self-perfection. It's not. There's a lot more to it. And we try to follow a series of things that we do that I coach everybody on. It's a 1-day training. We're going to do it on May 31st. It's the day after all the registrations closed. So everybody it's going to be testing. We'll have an understanding of what's expected from them on August the 6th, on August the 14th, as part of the test. The 15th, there again, it's going to be seminars all day. We've got some fantastic people coming in. We're not looking for let's get the tournament champions, going to teach you how to do some aerials and some backflips. It's not the market we have. The people that we got are a bunch of old guys. They're the goats. They're us. So they're coming in, but I'd love to learn more about verbal judo. I'd love to learn more about knife fighting. And I'm not talking about necessarily how to defend yourself against the knife. I want to know more offense. I want to be able to handle the knife. I want to do stuff that I can do sitting down. So forgive me if it's about me, but the seminars, we kind of handpick who's going to teach, because we don't want, like I said, somebody's going to be in there teaching a lot of other stuff. Firearm training is part of it. I think that as you get older, you need to be a well-rounded martial artist. And for those that are proficient in martial arts, and many people are, their military career leads them to that. It doesn't mean everybody is. You ask yourself, well, why? Why are we doing the greatest of all time awards? Why not another Hall of Fame? I got one of those too. I've got a Hall of Fame that's for the AFKA. It's for me and mine. That's what we call it. This is something different. This is to honor people based on a level of expertise. The only students that will be coming in are people that want to see their instructor. We've got a lot of those. People are coming as guests, but it's not about honoring the students. It's about honoring the old masters. And it's not a lifetime dedication or lifetime achievement. If you're our age, we've all got those. But the G.O.A.T award is something more prestigious, where we want to think of it as not like the Oscars, but really we want to have it a step above what's normal. And engaging in, you mentioned some business training. I'm going to teach a seminar there on business training, and to have these world-class grandmasters coming in. You just don't know what you don't know until you get in front of it. And you go, oh, I didn't know that. So it becomes something extraordinary. So basically, Thursday night is going to be a black belt testing. Thursday afternoon, of course, another time afterwards for all the networking we get to do. The nice thing is, this whole thing is set in a resort. I mean, there's 3 swimming pools, a golf club, a huge lake, not a pond, a lake with big boats on it. With it all overlooks everything. I think there's 3 pool tables. There's just a whole resort of things going on. So bring the wife and the kids, and they can play while you're having a meeting with your buddies. The point is, it's more about networking, not what you know, it's who you know. And then, of course, after going through all the training and going through the getting ready that afternoon, we have a VIP reception from about 3 to 6. We take your picture. It's all a black tie affair. Pictures are taken in front of some special backdrops. The pictures are produced. They're put on the actual award. It's and it's no small award. It's a nice award. You're honored also with a commemorative ring. You get your polo shirt. You get we want to make it so you leave there going, wow, that was different. And of course, you get to spend some time at the resort. And when you go back and say you're a GOAT, guess what? You are. We've got a press release we send to everybody, so we give you a press release and who to send it to. So everybody gets an opportunity to put it out, to make sure that and by the way, the press release goes out before you come to the event, not after. We're going to let the whole world know you've been nominated and you're going. Who knows what they'll do afterwards? What can you expect? You can expect a celebration that's not like anything you've ever been to. We want to make it so that it literally you're going to talk about this for the rest of your life. It is a black tie affair. I mean, you got to wear a tuxedo. Oh my, got to wear a tuxedo. If you hang around me very long, you're going to have to own a tuxedo. I'm going to dress you up pretty often. So, and don't be afraid. You go to events, you need a tuxedo. You can rent them. But heck, you can buy them nowadays for the price of a rental. So get yourself a tuxedo. And people say, well, can I qualify? Well, yeah, you can qualify. First thing you do is go to the online and nominate. Online, it's allaboutmad.com, GOAT-awards. allaboutmad.com/GOAT-awards. You can nominate anybody you know there, including yourself. We do a thorough checkup on it, and if you qualify, that means you got to, as I told you what the parameters are, then we'll more than be happy to nominate you. The deadline for nomination or deadline for registration is May the 30th. So it's this month is the last time they can do it. But go check out the website anyway. You get a lot of information there, and hope you'll get a feel for what it is we're trying to do with this. And like I said, many people are bringing their wives, their children, they're bringing their family because it is a big deal. You fly in and out of Dallas if you're coming from out of town or out of state. Flying out of Dallas Fort Worth, we have a shuttle service. We're running back and forth to the resort, so we're going to take care of you every which way we can.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, this is really great. And of course, coming out on probably about May 20th, it'll be available. So we're going to have an article in the Martial Arts Extraordinaire magazine promoting it. And if you haven't checked out one of our magazines, you can go on Amazon. You can buy it on Amazon. You can go to our Who's Who in the Martial Arts store. And, and just like with, what we have with the G.O.A.T event, a few weeks after that, we have the Who's Who in the Martial Arts event. And that's going to be in Las Vegas. And that's going to be at the Orleans Hotel and Casino. We've got, again, a lot of different things going on. The uniqueness about what we're doing this year, we haven't been doing categories. We're doing categories this year. This is year 11 for that event. And, we appreciate you. You were there at event number 1. And, I've
been your biggest fan for a long time.
Well, we're each other's biggest fan. That's, like I said, we're brothers.
Yeah.
And but these are events, and in the magazine, I'm going to, we got an article about your event, but I have an article about, other recommended awards events and why I recommend those, and our board will recommend it. If you are looking to be featured in a magazine, then for marketing, our magazine is a marketing and branding magazine. It's not all about, the famous. I find that famous people won't even buy a magazine sometimes. So this is really about helping martial artists to grow their schools, empower themselves in their community by being published. And this is one of the greatest times ever to be published. If you're 50 years older or more, then, go to our Who's Who in the Martial Arts. We're doing our second edition of the Martial Arts Extraordinaire biography book, 50 years and older. And, sir, you were saying that, that's true. We are all maturing and we're at different place. And
what a blessing, though. What a blessing.
Hallelujah. And we're both 71.
Right.
When's your birthday? What month are you?
January 30th.
Oh, you're older than I am. You're an old man.
Accepted. Let me know. I'll send you the address.
Well, mine is September 6th, but we're both 71.
Yeah.
And hey, I'm a renewed 71. So we have all these things about it. We can tell you what's in front of you, but it's also about the legacy, the things that we leave behind. We're only here on earth for a short period of time. And what do we do? If I don't share with you what I do, I'm not doing you a service. Right. And that's what we're doing. Coming to the seminars, if you're in the martial arts, or if you've been out, we want to inspire you to come back in. And so you can see that it's not over. A lot of people want to lay down and say, well, it's all over. I'm through now. When you take the last breath, it's over.
Okay? Ain't no retirement in the Bible.
And that's what we want to do. We are constantly moving forward, and Grandmaster Arthur and all the things that he's been doing, in the martial arts, the things that we're doing. We wrote a book back here, 11 years ago, was not to be done a second time. And here we are with 11 books and an international publishing company. But if you don't start and if you don't do something, you cannot be the GOAT.
Right.
You cannot be.
Right.
You cannot be the GOAT. You have to understand that, you have a purpose here on the planet. You met your martial arts instructor. There was a purpose for you meeting that. Now, if you didn't realize there was a purpose, you probably left him. you know,
Yeah.
but you see that, but the thing with it didn't stop life. So, you know, we want to be able to honor you. I remember my very first day of my karate class, you know, going back to 1975. And I remember that first class, I had never seen the word karate. I knew of karate, but I've never really looked at karate. I knew what it was about. And I'm walking out this books out of a convenience store, and I'm walking out, and out of the corner of my eye, I see the word karate. I go over, this is day one. I go over, I pick up, it's a Karate Illustrated magazine. And man, I bought that magazine and I read through it because that was a time, that's where your information was in the magazine. You knew everyone that was somebody that was doing something because the magazines covered it. And but I think about that magazine as we produce our own magazine. If it hadn't been for that magazine, I don't know. When I opened up the front cover, there was a picture of Chuck Norris holding a giant trophy cup on his knee. His foot up is in a chair. A little old lady, him in his uniform, and that
kicking jeans.
I knew at that moment, I wanted to be a karate champion. It wasn't 6 years later, 6 months later. No. Yeah. Just that picture of Chuck Norris holding that giant trophy cup inspired me. And you know, you hear me talk about it. Thank you, good Lord, for a strong mind.
Yeah.
But as I talk about it, you can sort of feel that emotion that it gave me from that picture of Chuck Norris, then having an opportunity to meet Chuck Norris, then have an opportunity to be a business partner with Chuck Norris. So you see, it all sort of comes around. Sure. But if you are not moving forward, then you are standing still. So if you're a martial artist, and I know that martial artists, they like to, well, I'm gonna sit over in the corner. I don't want anyone to know about me. I don't want all that kind of mess you guys have about showing up. But you see, the thing with it is, your grandchildren or the people out there, you might be able to tell me something that can make my life better. And that's what all this is really about. It's about people with wisdom. It's about wisdom. It's about knowledge. It's about that ability to make me better. And you may do something, or I may say something in someone's life, and they come back 15 years later. Thank you for speaking truth in my life, or thank you. But if they don't know about you, then you cannot be a resource. You cannot be a resource. You're here today and you're going tomorrow. What are you going to do between now and that time? Then, okay, this is a great way for you to look back, on your past. And, Grandmaster Arthur, I've as a minister, I've sort of looked at what I do as my ministry. And it's really not about, my job, as a publisher is to, and in the Who's Who book and the different things that you're doing, I'm doing, is to get people to stop, to stand still. Because if you got to write about your life and you can only write a paragraph, now that's a doggone shame. You see, but the great part is, it's also to help you to understand that instead of wasting a perfectly good life, you can realize that at any point, you can realize that at 71 and make a change and now create a new life. So what we're doing here, and Grandmaster Arthur is doing, is giving you an opportunity to stand up and say, I am important. And it's good. That is good. I've been a contributor in life. Yes, I've done great things, but to be recognized for it, it really empowers me to live up to the expectation. If you're going to call me a goat, then I want to be the goat. If I'm going to write about your bio, your biography, then I want that to inspire someone else by creating change in that.
That's great advice.
Because don't get me going, because it's time for a Sunday sermon here. So, any last things from you?
What's that?
Any last words from you?
I just want to make sure that to put one more point out, and that is we have, if you're interested in being involved in an event, we have one coming up in June. That's June the 20th through the 20th and the 22nd. It's a weekend of training together. We have a banquet. But it's not a formal affair. It's just training. 2 days of great martial artists come up. Some of them are going to be training at the G.O.A.T Award. Some of them aren't, but they're coming in from all over to help train people. Registration for that is afkaonline.net. If you're interested in getting registered, just go there and take care of it. You can always email me. I'm at afkalawrence.arthur@gmail. Love to answer any of your questions or help you any way I can. I spent my whole life getting to do what I do now. There's no retirement involved. I love doing what I do, and I'm hoping that everybody has that same passion for what they do. I know you do.
Well, and indeed we do. And again, everyone, so remember, from the side of the AMAA, the American Martial Arts Alliance Foundation, and from Elite Publications. So new magazine coming out in a few weeks. If you would like to be featured in our magazine, then you can go to elitepublications.org, and there you can message me. You can message me online. So we're looking for martial arts. We're looking for the top martial arts schools in each state we did it this past year. We had our top school award and bringing top schools together from across the country. So if you are a martial artist and you feel that your school should be recognized as a top school in your state, we're taking 10 schools out of each state, then reach out. I'll give you information. You can go to our Who's Who in the Martial Arts website. There's a section there that tells you if you want to be on our Roku TV channel, let us know. We're starting a Learn the Martial Arts on our Roku channel, and that Roku channel is elitepublications.org. So the Roku channel is elitepublications.org. So you can go there, and Roku has over 80 million subscribers. So we can show you how to help to grow your school, monetize your school by being a part of the Roku system and broadcasting there. So remember, Vegas, August the 29th and 30th. So again, you can go to our Who's Who website, nominate someone. And again, today I've got my good friend of I don't know how many years, but we really go back there. And guess what? We're still going. We're still making the world a better place. And if you are looking for mentors in your life, in the publishing and in the martial arts, then, we're here. We're here. You wanted to talk about a book, it's free. Come to me and I'll share everything I know, how you can become an international award-winning, best-selling author. So everyone, be blessed. And remember, everyone has a story. You just have to get it out. How does that sound?
I'm glad you don't get paid for singing.
Oh, yes, I do.